It's 2026 Moontower Comedy Festival. So excited to be here again. Welcome to another episode of Comedy Wham Presents with me, your host Valerie, and sometime kitty co-hosts. Miss Purrington and Mookie are resting at home. These are my recordings with some of the best of 2026 Moontower Comedy Festival performers. ComedyWham.com is your place to go for features about all Austin comedy. In addition to podcasts, Comedy Wham brings you articles, album reviews, show reviews, our advice column, our listing of festivals from across the country and the world, our FPIA contest page, and my articles for the Austin Chronicle, thebarbedwire.com, and the San Antonio Current about the Austin and Central Texas comedy scenes. Our most popular features are events page for live comedy shows in Austin, Houston, and DFW, where 100% of the entries you see come from comics and producers. Click the Submit a Show button from the top of the homepage or events page to fill out the survey to get your show listed. It's free and easy. Tag us on your Instagram stories and we'll share your show promo to our followers. We also offer paid promo pushes on Instagram. Speaking of events, come check out my new passion project show, Improv Vintage. You bring a vintage item and we turn it into comedy gold in a fully improvised performance. Want to support these resources we provide? You can donate to Comedy Wham on Venmo or Patreon. Click the Support CW icon on our homepage to see the ways that you can help us. Our podcast was launched in 2016 to bring you funny people and their stories. As a fan, I like to delve into a comic's background and motivations, and will usually take a detour along the way. Consider the interview a way for you to get to know how the comedy scene is as fascinating offstage as it is on stage. If you like this podcast, please rate and review us. And now we're going to join our Comedy Wham Presents Moontower 2026 Conversation in Progress. Because I took Russian, 2 classes in college. Yeah. I remember Ochen, Horocho, Dva. Is that right?
Dva.
And then
like 2.
Da.
Da means yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Niet.
Yes.
But everybody knows Niet.
I'm glad I wasn't talking to some spy agency or something.
Right? Okay, well, here we go. Today, we're talking, recording live on location at the Stephen F. Austin Hotel Lounge for 2026 Moontower Comedy Festival. Our guest today has been a legend in comedy since the 80s after leaving the Soviet Union in 1977. He is an established comedy force in Branson with his eponymous theater. He brought his PhD in psychology to his 2016 special, Happily Ever Laughter, and also brings it to his podcast, The Comedy Couch, which I very much enjoy. We'll talk about that.
Thank you.
He's here for his very first Moontower Comedy Festival. He's got an unmistakable laugh, and if I do a decent job today, hopefully we'll hear it a few times.
Yeah.
He's been on great shows like King of the Hill and Night Court and movies like Brewster's Millions. He's got a new baby. And I can't believe I'm saying these words, and now Comedy Wham presents our guest, Yakov Smirnoff.
Thanks for having me on.
I know that if I say do svidaniya, that's goodbye,
Means
isn't
goodbye.
it? So I'll try to remember to say it. Yeah, I don't remember what the hello is.
Привет.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't remember that. Yeah. Well, welcome. It is an absolute honor to be sitting across, when I get to talk to legends, it's usually over Zoom because I got on some PR person's list and, I don't get to really see them. So it's like mind-blowing. I mean, I'm going to try not to fangirl too much.
I think you're okay. I'm just, I'm normal guy, just a guy.
Yeah, and when I look at the Moontower schedule, and I know that I don't necessarily know the comic, I'll just do I'll just post on their website contact and say, hey, I've just been around, been doing this podcast for a few years. If you'd like to record, let me know. And then you actually wrote back, and I'm like, what?
What?
How is it have you been to Austin before?
Many times.
Yeah?
Yeah, many times. I have a dear friend here who I met when I just came to America, and I, by mistake, got a job on the Royal Caribbean Cruise Line. And literal by mistake, because I didn't speak English well enough, and people who were helping me kind of get the start in America, my neighbors, they were asking me like, what did you do? And I said I used to be like a cruise director and on the cruise ships in the Soviet Union. So they took initiative and wrote me a resume and sent it out. And I didn't understand what that meant. Resume was not something I knew about in the Soviet Union. So, and then I moved to Florida. I was a bartender there, and I get a call. My mom got a call because the neighbor got a call, whatever. So that they need somebody to fill the position of assistant cruise director, and the ship leaves tonight. And would are you available to do it? And for me, it was like a dream job, but I didn't speak English well enough. But I asked permission from the guy who I worked for, and he said, "Don't miss the opportunity." And I went with, on the ship, and they sailed, and then they realized I don't speak English, which kind of was part of the requirement.
Not very good interviewing skills on their
They
part.
didn't interview me at all. I literally was like, the ship is leaving, get on. So I did, and there was a guy from Austin, Texas, Gary Powell, who later became big producer of music in Disney. And so, but he was one of the assistant cruise director, and I just kind of fell under his wing. And here's this big Texan guy with a, cowboy hat, and, it's like, and he, and he sees me, and he realizes that I'm not gonna make it here. I mean, I'm literally. So he took me under his wing and kind of was showing me around and stuff like that. Well, the job lasted that week because they couldn't drop me off somewhere else. So they had to bring me back to Miami. And so they obviously didn't hire me again. So, but we became friends, and that was 49 years ago. And he got everybody, the crew staff, and said he doesn't have any money to get back to New York. Can we chip in? And that was mind-blowing to me, that kind of kindness, because I didn't know the guy at all. And he became kind of like a model of Americans, the big Texan, generous guy. His dad was in the oil industry, and they had a huge mansion. I mean, the whole thing was just like a dream. So I would come here a lot. He would invite me, and we would just be. I mean, we're the same age, so.
You'd ride horses down the. You'd ride horses down the dirt-covered ranch.
No, but we would like go down the river and chase girls. That was the mode of operandus. And
I mean, what a combination! The Texans and the Russian guy.
Yes, it was very ironic, and unfortunately, he is not in a good shape right now. So I'm going to visit him Sunday. I haven't seen him probably in 4 or 5 years. But the memories are still wonderful. Yeah. So Austin, I watched it grow and turn into this cosmopolitan
Yeah.
hub. Wasn't like that 49 years ago.
No, no. Well, I officially like to start off my podcast.
Oh, so
with
this was
one-
chit chat?
This was chit chat.
Gotcha.
But that's the point.
That's fine.
Is
To relax me.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes, before I really hit.
Oh, yeah,
ask the
I was
hard-hitting
nervous.
Questions.
Yes.
Okay, my official question for our icebreaker is one word to describe your past.
Huh. Tumultuous. Unpredictable.
I've got just a handful of interviews with comics in America that had a start in, let's say, not necessarily known for their creative endeavors countries. And I imagine, but I don't want to put words in your mouth, that growing up in the Soviet Union, comedy was not necessarily the thing you most aspired to do.
I did. My parents didn't. There were a couple of comedians, very, very, very good comedians, that had to go through that sift, that filter of the Communist Party and still be popular to the public, and be accepted by the Communist Party. So they were on television on a regular basis. They were royalty in some ways. So as a young guy who was listening to, like, there would be like Sunday about 10 o'clock in the morning, I think there was like a program, and it would come through the radio. We had a radio that was on all the time, kind of like Alexa, now, but it was on, and so all the propaganda was coming through that little box. And so I remember being a young kid who would, I had a big tape recorder like this, and I would record his, Arkady Rykin was his name, and I would memorize it. Like next day, I would tell everybody those jokes. And there was nobody talked about like copyright or anything like that. Nobody cared, The humor was such a scarcity, there's not much of it. So that kind of made me, and I wasn't athletic, wasn't into sports, and so I didn't really have much going for me because I wasn't very smart. I didn't think I was. My mom, she was a teacher, very, very smart lady. My dad was very smart. They didn't think I was. And I couldn't read well. So my like grades were not very good. But I could tell a joke. And, I think I done pretty good for myself.
Well, the thought that just lit up in my brain is you may not have been book smart, but you were like savvy,
Very,
street smart,
very,
and you
very,
could
very
analyze the situation.
I can tell you my secret that I discovered only like years. I mean, I went to Tony Robbins' event. I went to all of them actually, but the first one, he explained that there's 3 ways of learning. It's visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, through feeling. And visual, I was probably what is it, HDA, whatever.
Yeah,
I can't
ADHD.
even remember
Yeah.
what that is. So that, probably that I couldn't concentrate.
Sure.
So to read a page for me was difficult. I would fall asleep. And mom was embarrassed because she was a teacher. And it's like, you know, and so thank God that Tony Robbins explained that that I might be auditory. And that's how I got my master's and doctorate. I was listening to books.
Okay.
I couldn't read. I mean, I
Reading.
wasn't even trying. I would just listen, but I would swallow them and remember them and then combine this book with that book. And then, I mean, it was amazing. And then doctorate degree was the same. My mom was still alive when I got my master's. And she was like going, I guess she's not dumb, you know. But it was a challenge because, So finding this a little window of happiness for me was very important. And that's how it started.
So when you were starting out, fast forward beyond the memorizing somebody else's performance.
Yeah,
and
which was
reciting.
auditory.
Yeah, exactly.
See, I didn't understand that,
Yeah,
but I heard it and then I could remember it.
yeah. Did you start comedy? The whole open mic thing in
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah,
Soviet
yeah, yeah,
Union?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I started when I was 15 years old. Yeah.
And so did you have to go through that process of
No,
getting
no.
approved?
Not when you're an amateur.
Okay.
No, when you're an amateur, there's enough people around you that manage those clubs that are they know what's not allowed, so they kind of censor you.
Okay.
And I wasn't looking for trouble. I was one of those, not supposed to say that. Okay, I won.
Yeah.
But I'll find something else to say that you might not catch, but it will be the same thing. So it was a challenge. It fit my intellect. It was like, how do I go around that with all of those obstacles?
Yeah, yeah. And one thing that I observe from your comedy is like you're very positive and optimistic.
Yeah.
Has that always been the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see why
Yeah.
do it any other way.
Yeah.
You know, for me, I'm a happy person, and I want happy people around me, and so so it's always been like that.
Yeah. When did you, or how did you develop the notion that you wanted to leave? And you're specifically from Ukraine, which is very, politically fraught right now, to
Yeah.
say the least.
Yeah.
When did you have the idea to leave?
It started. There were a couple of people who left before my parents and I, so it kind of. Oh no, wait! It actually started way earlier, when I was a kid, and my dad. We lived in a communal apartment, so neighbors were right everywhere, and he would wake up in the middle of the night and listen to Voice of America. And they did not jam that at nighttime. During the day, they did, but they didn't think anybody was gonna 3 o'clock in the morning, and he would. And so, living in one room, at one point I asked Dad, "What is this?" And so he explained to me and kind of explained America a little bit, the way he understood it. And it was, and for years and years, Mom was scared to death even to talk about this, because it was forbidden and you could get in trouble. So, so that started with my dad kind of doing that covertly from Mom. And so I knew about this, but when I started doing comedy, and I was doing pretty well comparatively, I still lived in the same room with my parents and all of that, but I started working the cruise ships. And they had a lot of people from different countries touring the Black Sea. And that's, because as a whole, you were not supposed to communicate with foreigners. That was their rules, no communication. And and in my case, because my job was kind of master of ceremonies of the cruise, I had to get everybody involved. So they literally gave me an interpreter for each group. And it could be Germans and British and Czechoslovakians and Australians and whatever. And I had an interpreter for each group, and I would set up some kind of game shows or some stuff that would entertain everybody, and that was interesting because now I could be in direct contact, and I watched their energy, and I've watched how they were so uninhibited, and Soviets were like, don't.
Yeah.
And literally that was what triggered me. And then the main thing that got my my mom on board, no pun intended, I wanted her to go on the cruise ship with me. And when I told the management that I would like to get, or I would like them to give me a cabin for my parents, they told me that go to hell, you're not going to work here. They fired me. And I, and that's how it was. There were just, we have thousands, people like that. We don't care. And they kicked me out, and then I came home, and that day later, messenger came with 2 sets of tickets for me and my parents. And so we packed our bags and went to the cruise. It was a big deal. And I met the cruise director prior to that, and I said, what happened? How is that? Because that, I never
Full reversal.
never heard of that in that environment. And he said, well, we don't live exactly in that environment as much, because our ships are leased to European companies, a lot of them, during nine months out of the year. And then for 3 months, they come to replenish, fix things. So at that time, they tour around Black Sea, which is in Soviet territory. And he said, but in Europe, if you are, so I said, so why did they give me this, whole pass in a way? And he said, because the captain saw you perform, and he said, even if you have to give him my cabin, I want him on board.
Wow.
And it was a shock. I said, wait a minute. So are you saying that in capitalist countries, if you're more talented than someone else, you can have more things?
And so it begins.
That was huge.
Wow.
And then, so my parents were there, and it was a big ship, like 1,000 people, and probably 10 different groups of different kinds of speaking different languages. And I was the one who was kind of making it all happen. And my mom finally said, I think you have an international audience. Because her main thing was that I won't make it. I'm not very smart. Where am I going? learn new language? Are you kidding me? This kid could not get a C in like whatever German, whatever. I wasn't just so she kind of said, you know what, let's try
Yeah.
it,
Wow.
and that's what made it happen.
Yeah. It's funny, I'm getting like a little verklempt myself just because, like, you speak of your mom so highly, but you also understood like her perspective on you and feeling like you weren't good enough in certain settings, but realizing that there's a spark, there is an opportunity for you to be good at something. And I feel like, most of my life I always felt like I am smart. I know I am smart.
Ugly
Yeah,
duckling
yeah,
syndrome. Yeah.
yeah. But knowing, at
What
the
am
end
I
of the day,
supposed to do?
mom really did actually believe in me
Yeah.
and respect me and whatever. So I
That's
feel like,
yeah,
you know,
very
uh,
important.
yeah,
Johnny Carson never got that from his mom. How huge he was.
yeah,
She was,
yeah. So you cross the several ponds, and where did you first perform in America?
in America. Uh, I got on stage in Catch a Rising Star one time, but I don't consider that. It was okay, and then I got a couple of other opportunities, but the main one when I went to Hollywood and I got on stage there and Mitzi Shore, who was the owner of the comedy club, she spotted me. I don't know how in the world she did, but she did, and that encouraged me
Yeah.
to stay in LA. And then she gave a job to my dad as a carpenter, and then I was helping him. I mean, it seemed like a movie. It seemed like a weird like flashbacks going, what? Yeah, yeah, I did all of that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And does the mothership know you're here in town?
They don't, well,
Because they
somehow,
speak so. I mean, there's the Mitzi's Club,
yeah, yeah.
and Mitzi's
I'm gonna
imprint
probably
is.
stop by right after we finish. I don't know why they're very friendly towards me, but I think that Moontower might be is.
Oh yeah, there's. Yes,
That's what I sense.
yes, there is absolutely.
And the Moontower said, I said, do you mind if I perform? And they said, well, after you finish with us,
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah.
So I'm hopefully I got tickets to stay another 4 days here, but depending on how when I go there, how I'm received, I'm gonna make that.
I am gobsmacked.
Huh?
You are Yakov Smirnoff.
Well, we'll see. I sometimes this crazy,
Sure, sure,
you go,
Yeah.
why? What's the,
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm not saying no. I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I'll talk to Adam, and and he knows me very well from the Comedy Store, and so
Sure.
yeah, I don't anticipate a problem. However, if there is a geopolitical problem, then
During this weekend, there would be.
yeah. So
Yes.
then it's like I don't want to get in the middle of it.
Yeah.
I could come back, and we'll see.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so you really things start flying for you when you settle in.
Yeah, it
in
took
LA.
a little while, but yes.
Yeah. How quickly would you say you learned English? I want to compare notes here.
Oh.
Because English is not my first language either.
Oh, I still learn. I'm still learning. I start talking well enough to do my comedy 6 to 8 months, So I was doing baby steps, and was. I mean, I guess I was brave enough to try things that I probably was not ready for, but eventually it became okay, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I, I, I want to ask what you thought your first big break was. If we look past the connection with Mitzi in the Comedy Store, what would you say is like, can you think of, like, there's this moment that you've captured in your mind that this is my break?
Well, the movie with Robin Williams, Moscow on the Hudson, was a big deal, but that didn't introduce me to America. What introduced me to America is Miller Lite commercial. That became a big success, and that put me on the map. I got a Tonight Show because of that. Carson saw me on that. Yeah, it was remarkable how many people saw it.
Yeah, yeah. How
And
did you land the commercial?
I don't know. I don't know,
I mean,
honestly.
I'm a child of the 80s, so I remember
Yeah.
seeing you everywhere.
I don't remember. I think I did Night Court before, so I was getting some momentum. And in Hollywood, there's, you're like, if you're fresh meat,
Yeah,
they will pay, somebody saw something and said, let's do that.
yeah.
I don't, there probably was something more specific, but I just don't remember.
So one thing that's interesting, I'm going to flash forward, flash back.
Yeah.
So I have been listening to a few of your episodes of your podcast, and you interviewed Jeremiah Watkins.
Yeah.
And love Jeremiah. I have actually been talking to him every year at Moontower. This is going to be my 9th year with him. And he said something really interesting, because you asked him, well, what do you think makes you, viral and whatever? You asked
Jeremiah.
And he said, well, I think a lot of it is timing. And there's luck, there's talent, but some of it is just the timing of things. And so now, flashing back to when you burst out on the scene, I mean, I think that there's something to the geopolitical environment that was
100%,
in the 80s.
100%,
You were like,
100%.
oh, how interesting, and we're living through these
100%.
Reagan period, Bush period.
Yeah, evil empire, and I show up, and they go,
what a nice guy.
That's evil?
Yeah.
We can handle that.
Yeah. Did you, at the time, and
No.
maybe reflecting,
No.
I
had no
what
idea.
Did you think? Okay.
I had no idea. All I wanted is to get a nice car and a place and a girl. I did not.
Yeah.
And Mitzi kept telling me, you and Reagan changed the world. And I was like going, oh, come on, Mitzi. I just tell jokes, And she goes, no, you got that wall torn down. I was oblivious.
You were a component.
I was.
Sure.
I mean,
when you reflect back, you have to.
I was.
You can see.
I was giving Reagan jokes that were hitting the right places.
Wait a minute. What do you mean you were giving Reagan jokes?
Yeah. I would write speeches. I mean, this. Oh yeah. This was part of that Miller Lite kind of time when, everybody was. And I was approached by the White House, and I was like a joke dealer for the White House. Yeah.
Wow.
That was real. I would, So but I still didn't think that mattered. I really didn't.
Yeah.
And I think I might have. I'm a little slow. Because it was like a couple of years ago. I was in Florida, and this guy, I was doing a show, and this guy comes over, and he's like in his, I'd say 55-ish, something like that. And he said, and she's like tearing up, and he's going, thank you for what you've done for us. And I said, what did I do for you? And he said, you made Russian people look human. And he said, you don't know how much that meant to us. And that's when and that was after I got my master's and I was getting and my doctorate, connecting the dots that I met the need of America, therefore America met my needs.
Yeah.
That's, now the question is, why am I here? Why am I in Moontower Comedy Festival?
You're a legend.
Okay.
Really?
But no, I'm a very pragmatic legend. I'm like going, okay, what am I supposed to do? What's my role? Why am I here?
Is that your childhood? Like you're growing up in the Soviet Union where like everybody's kind of, you gotta all conform, you can't blur lines, you can't go outside the lines. Is that...
No, I don't think so. I think it's more like, what is my purpose? If I in the 80s, walked into this place where I was needed, but I did not know why and what, and it gave me all these movies and television and blah, 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 blah. What am I here for now? What's needed?
Yeah.
What does America need today? And
Yeah,
I
that's
think,
a big
I think
conversation,
I know what it is. I know what I can contribute. And that's the clean comedy. Clean comedy with a positive outlook, not bitching about anything, appreciating this country. I'm doing a speech, the commencement speech at Pepperdine University on May 23rd, and that's the message. It's like, it's still a great country.
Yeah.
We need to look for it.
Yeah. I'm fighting going into a political conversation just because.
You go. I won't let you go too far. Yeah.
Well, obviously we're in a really crazy period in American history, but I also am drawn to your origin story and how, Ukraine is battling, it's a David versus Goliath situation, and
I don't see it that way.
okay.
I don't see it. I think it's a war.
Is what we are hearing in America and the press, that an accurate depiction of what we hear about?
Yeah, the war is not between Russia and Ukraine. The war is between America and Russia. Using Ukrainians as a...
Wow.
Yeah, it's not. So it's a Goliath versus Goliath. And it's just depending how many weapons, how many things we're going to give them to hit this and that. It's crazy. Yeah. But the point is that I think in this, when you watch the news and you realize how sad all of that stuff is, I zoom in and I look at my baby's eyes.
Yeah, that's the answer to what do you need.
And I go, there it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't care, David, Goliath, blah, 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 whatever.
Yeah.
And there will be turmoil. It's always been like, it will be. But appreciating what you got is remarkable. It's still, we're so far ahead. We just don't choose not to see it.
Yeah.
And just think, oh my God,
Yeah.
It's all still good.
Yeah, if you've given us a sneak peek into that commencement speech, I'm hoping that goes viral. That we can
somehow I'm supposed to be here for younger generation. Older people, when they see my show, they go, you got to take it to the young people. I'm going, well, it's not necessarily that easy when you're 75 and you got to restart the whole machine. I'm doing a show at Cap City for 80 people. I went to that room today, and I'm like,
it's a great room.
I'm sure it is.
Great room.
I'm sure. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I was grateful
Right.
when they gave me that
Yeah.
opportunity. I was. So I'm not bitching. I'm
Yeah.
choosing to do this again,
Yeah.
but this time consciously.
Yeah.
I already have the girl. I already got the house. I already got the car.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to give to America?
Yeah. Is this reflexive instinct that you have something that you've always had?
What's that?
Of why am I here? What am I supposed to give
No,
to people, or is that
no.
just a recent thing?
It's when you get older. I think
Yeah.
the question is like, what's my role? You know, I could stay in Branson. I have a wonderful theater, but I see the need, and I see that Nate Bargatze catches that wave, and Leanne Morgan caught that wave. And I'm saying, I can do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You started her.
Well, okay. I don't know about that.
Without you, who knows?
Stop.
You know the butterfly effect, right?
Right.
You never know.
Right.
Well, you got me because you had her in 1990, whatever, in 2000.
2018. Yeah.
Yeah. And I heard her voice, and I go, okay, well, why not?
Wow. Okay, so that's how I get on
Yeah.
people's PR list.
Yeah.
They're like, she talked to Leanne, 81,000 views. They don't notice that all the other ones, 10 views.
I didn't research. I just hit whatever you send me, and I went, oh, Leanne Morgan, okay, fine, okay. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it that inspired you to get a psychology degree?
I went through a divorce, and then and that kind of I noticed that laughter was gone when we were fighting over the custody of kids and this and that, and there used to be so much laughter in the beginning, and that's what made me start asking the audience, like, how many of you remember laughter being part of your honeymoon stage? And they all applaud, and then I would say, how many of you would go on the second date if you didn't have laughter? And nobody applauded. So to me, that made me go, there's something there. And so I was studying it way before I even started, that I went to university. And then I realized that I'm spending all this time studying, and why not get a degree? So that was kind of, and then I got a degree, and then I was for 2 or 3 years I was a professor at Missouri State University, was teaching that to young kids, and I realized that they're not ready for this kind of information. Yeah. So, and then I decided to get a doctorate because I wanted to have professors who know a lot, and I know a lot about comedy and laughter, and I wanted them to help me to put it in a form that legitimizes my thought process.
Do you find that having that degree and understanding psychology in particular helps you with writing jokes?
No, not really. No, I think it just scientifically confirmed what I believe that every comedian does on every joke is the same formula. It's meet the need, which is a setup. The need needs to meet the interest of the audience. And then humor triggers the laughter. It happens with your friends, happens with your spouse, anyone, business, same thing. Meet the need, then humor will make you laugh all the way to the bank. It's true. That's what it is. It's that simple. Unfortunately, when I tell that to people, they don't necessarily catch it. They go, "Oh, okay, okay, got it, okay, yeah." But yeah, I did. Even if it's one person that got this, and I know I did, that was enough
Yeah.
for me. I got amazing relationship going with my wife, and I know why, and I know how, and I know how to sustain it. That's huge.
Yeah.
So, and the rest, if I can spread, I mean, if you go see my show tomorrow, you'll see, you'll walk out with a lot of this information, but you were just laughing for an hour.
Yeah. Yeah. Over your career, do you do you think you've changed your approach to writing or
Yeah.
performing comedy?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just more what I learned that I want, not just joke for the sake of a joke, but experience wrapped in laughter. That's much better
Yeah.
from my perspective. At least I give people some value, not just laugh, 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 but they're actually going, hey, that's just like you. Oh no, that's like you, whatever. And that brings them together.
Yeah. I know because you've talked about it on the podcast that I'm going backwards in time again. Starting your club in Branson was kind of a meeting a need. Like you were. I don't remember exactly the way you worded it, but Hollywood was basically done with you.
Yes.
And you found Branson reluctantly.
Yes.
You've been
very reluctant. Yes.
there 30 years?
2 years, 32.
With this, this mecca of entertainment
Yeah.
in Branson,
Yeah.
Missouri, of all
Yeah.
places, and you've had this theater
Yeah.
that long. And what's the most surprising thing to you about the fact that you ended up in Branson, Missouri?
Yeah, that's surprising enough. What's surprising, that's where I feel like I'm home. And my wife and I looked for other places to live. And do you know that movie, It's a Wonderful Life?
Uh-huh.
I feel like George, who
Yeah.
is trying to get out
And then
all of these
realizing-
years and realizes he's the richest man in town.
Yeah. Because it's taking care of you as much as you've taken care of it.
Absolutely.
How
Ah.
often do you perform there?
Now I only do 30 shows a year.
Okay.
I used to do 400 shows a year when I started. Yeah. So, yeah. So I don't do it as much, but my main goal is to have weekends open to go to other places because I'm starting from ground zero, literally. It's so bizarre. Like doing 80-seat room after having 2,000-seat theater and, but I'm willing to do the grind.
Yeah. Comedy is a fickle sport.
I
But
chose
that's
it.
an opportunity for people. I mean, to get to see you in a small room.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be a random question, but as they've all been, has there been a documentary about your life?
Netflix is playing with it, the idea. They
needs
send a
to be.
crew. Yeah, they send a crew for 2 weeks, and I don't know. I think they're waiting for the same thing I'm waiting for. Is like, what's my next thing? What is it? What am I doing? I
Okay.
think they're waiting for that Yakov 2.0 kind of, and that's totally. I mean, I understand that. I do. I don't want. It's all organic. I don't need it. The
Yeah.
documentary. I think it will be very interesting. But my life, I still feel like I got. I told my wife at least to 100. So, and she said, if you don't make it, I'll kill you. So, so it's
Comedy right there.
very clear, right?
Yeah.
I need to do it. I need to. So, and I feel very strong and very healthy, and everything is good.
Yeah.
But I'm also guided where I'm supposed to be, and it will, it will come to me when it's supposed to.
Yeah.
This point, I feel like I need to be back in my hotel room and get some rest before I have 3 shows to do tonight.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like running everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's an intense schedule. Just yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I signed up for it.
Yeah. I mean, just based on the conversation we've had, and we're going to wrap up so you can go get some rest. I feel like I get pissed off at, you know, a Netflix or whoever for thinking about, well, what's the future of the person? But you have so many stories to tell, and you've told some incredible stories, you know, just now. And
Yeah.
it's like that needs to be captured.
Yeah,
So,
but
you know,
it will.
Yeah.
The show business is very predictable. They build you up first and then they tear you down. That's the process. So right now, I need to build myself until they find you, because you're starting to make them money.
Right.
Then they push you up, up, and up, and up. But
yeah,
you don't have any guarantee for anything.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm sure that version 2.0 is going to
The
be
what?
version 2.0 is going to be just as good as
I think
1.0.
so. I think so. I like it, but it's a big question. What is it?
Yeah,
What is it? I don't know. And it will appear when it's supposed to.
right, right. And in the meantime, you got that baby boy, and that's the most
Absolutely,
important thing.
absolutely. He's adorable. He's amazing, and my wife is amazing. And so my motto. I remember when I did Tony Robbins, they kind of asking you to have a motto or come up with a slogan of your life. What is it that you want? And mine was, and that was like probably 25 years ago or so. Experience happiness and teach it to the world through comedy and sensitivity. I am on track.
Yeah,
I feel I'm happy, and I know I can teach that.
yeah.
That's not bad.
There are some legendary names here. Yourself, Andy Huggins. I don't know if you
Yeah,
know
no,
Andy.
Andy.
Kathy Ladman.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I think you are here to teach the young comics that are at this festival. If they're smart, they're going to pay attention to you.
We'll see. It's
Yeah.
up to them.
Yeah.
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 Teacher, what is it? When the student is ready, the teacher will come, and vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's been incredible to talk to you.
it's a pleasure.
Are you ready for my closing question?
Yeah,
One
I
word.
think I am.
Yeah, one word to describe your future.
Inspirational.
If this episode doesn't rival Leanne's, I'm calling it. I'm done. I'm done doing this. Anything else before we wrap up?
I think you did good.
Okay.
I'm happy with it.
All right. Well, that is a wrap on Comedy Wham presents Yakov Smirnoff. Yakov, tell us where we can find you on social media and
Yes.
promote.
It's Yakov Smirnoff on all those TikToks and whatever they are, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. My website is yakov.com. You can find what I'm doing. I look at that website to see
Where am I supposed to be?
Where am I today? Oh yeah, thank you. Yeah.
All right. Well, we hope you've enjoyed learning about how Yakov got to be the comedic genius that you heard today, just as much as I have. Literally, he's a PhD. So, this has been Comedy Wham presents Yakov Smirnoff. I'm Valerie, and that's been funny. Thank you so much. До
Thank
свидания.
you. До свидания. Perfect. Good timing.